So your base is a square that has sides of 5, 5, 5, and 5. So to find the perimeter, you're going to take 5 times 4 essentially, which is 20. Once we know the perimeter, we can find our lateral area. Lateral area is just 1/2 your perimeter times your slant height. They gave us the slant height. The slant height in this case is just 3. So 20 times 3 is 60. Half of 60 gives us a lateral area of 30. In this case, 30 meters squared. Once we know the lateral area, finding the surface area is pretty straightforward because all we have to do now is find our one base area. In this case, our base is a square, so it's just going to be base times height, where both measurements happen to be 5. So 5 times 5 gives us a base area of 25. So we're going to add the 25 to the 30 to get our surface area. In example 2, this time they tell us that we're dealing with a regular hexagon, or regular hexagonal pyramid, not prism. They tell us that the slant height here is 9. They tell us the apothem is 3 square root of 3, or if you want, it's 5.2 in decimal form. We know every side is 6 inches in length. So the first thing we're going to do is find the perimeter. Well, a hexagon has 6 sides, right? So that's 6 times 6, which gives us a perimeter of 36. Now that we know the perimeter, we're going to take that and the slant height and plug it into our lateral area formula. So 1/2 perimeter times slant height. So we're taking half of 36 times 9. So our lateral area should just be 162 inches squared. Now that we know our lateral area, we can find our surface area. We're going to take surface area equals lateral area plus 1 base area. Your base in this case is a regular hexagon. So we have to use our formula for regular polygon area. That's 1/2 apothem times perimeter. Well, they gave us the apothem. It's 5.2. So we're going to take 1/2 times 5.2 times 36. When we multiply that out, we should get our base area to be 93.6. And so now we're going to plug that in for the base area, plug 162 in for our lateral area, and solve. And so in this case, we should get 255.6 inches squared is our surface area. So for example 3, you should be finding the perimeter. It is a square base, so you're taking 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, or 8 times 4, which is 32. Plug the 32 in for perimeter. You take 1/2 32 times your slant height of 12. You get your lateral area as 192 centimeters squared. Now that you know your lateral area, plug that into your surface area formula. Calculate your base area, which in this case is just 8 times 8, which is 64. Add the two together, and you get your surface area to be 256 centimeters squared. Question 4. So in this problem, we're missing the slant height. But what I know is if I extend this piece over to the edge of the pyramid, and then I draw my slant height here, I'm creating a right triangle. The bottom portion here is 4.5, and I'm looking for my slant height. Well, to find it, I can use the Pythagorean theorem. I'm going to have 8 squared plus 4.5 squared equals my slant height squared. So if you've calculated correctly, your slant height should be 9.2. So now that we know our slant height, we can find our perimeter, which in this case square base. So there's 4 sides of 9. So 9 times 4 gives us a perimeter of 36. So your lateral area is going to be 1/2 your perimeter times your slant height of 9.2. So your lateral area is 165.6. Now that we know our lateral area, we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. Plug it into our surface area formula. So surface area equals our lateral area of 165.6 plus our base area. Well, our base is a square, so we're taking 9 times 9, which is 81. So we're adding 81 to 165.6. We should get our surface area 246.6 inches squared. Good. In this problem, they tell us the radius of the base of a cone is 16 meters. Its slant height is 28 meters. What is the surface area? So we're going to find the lateral area first. So lateral area for a cone is pi times radius times slant height. We have our radius, we have our slant height. So we're going to plug those in. So we've got lateral area equals pi times 16 times 28. Right? And when you multiply this out, you're going to get your lateral area to equal 448 pi. You can leave it like that or you can multiply it out. It's up to you. All right, so when you multiply it out, you get 1,406.7 roughly.
I got 7. 7 is 6.
That's okay. All right, so now that we know the lateral area, we can find the surface area by using the lateral area. So your surface area is lateral area plus pi r squared. Well, in this case, we already know the lateral area. Let's use 448 pi plus pi times your radius squared, which in this case is 16 squared. So in this case, if you multiply, or actually if you don't multiply it out, you're going to get 704 pi. And if you multiply it out, you get right around 2,211.7 meters squared. So we're missing the slant height in this one, so we've got to find that first. And we can find it using the Pythagorean theorem. Notice the triangle is already created for you. So 12 squared plus 5 squared equals 8 squared. 12 squared is 144, 5 squared is 25, so you've got 169 equals your slant height squared. So your slant height is just 13. All right. So once we know our slant height, lateral area becomes very easy, because lateral area is just pi times your radius times your slant height. So we've got pi times 5 times 13. So in this case, you're going to get your lateral area to equal 65 pi, or if you multiply it out, you should get 204.2 meters squared roughly. Okay. And so once you have your lateral area, we can find the surface area by just finding the base area and adding it in. So surface area should be our lateral area, so I'll use 65 pi plus the area of my base, which is pi r squared, so 5 squared. 5 squared is 25. So 25 and 65 get added together to be 90 pi. Or if you want to multiply it out, you can, and you get 282.7 meters squared roughly. You should take your lateral area is going to be pi times your radius times your slant height. So 15 times 25 times pi. You get a lateral area of 375 pi. Taking your lateral area and plugging it into your surface area formula, you get 375 pi plus pi times your radius squared, which is 15 squared. 15 squared is 225, so you end up with 600 pi, or 1,884.96.